Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum girls. Today we are going to discuss about the sensory organ which is ear. So we have to study the parts of the ear, the outer ear, the middle ear and the inner ear, and how do they function. Okay. So hearing is very important as vision, and there are two important functions of the ear. One is to help in hearing and the other is to maintain the balance. Other is to maintain the balance or equilibrium of our body. Ear has three main parts: external, middle and internal ear. uh, External ear has a pinna and the auditory canal and an eardrum. Okay, pinna is the broad external part which is made up of cartilage. If you look at this picture, so see, if you look at this picture carefully, see, there is the first part is the outer ear, which is the external ear. Okay, it consists of pinna. See this the outward part of the ear which can be seen is known as pinna. The auditory canal, look at this canal, this is the auditory canal. Canal means this area from which the sound gets transferred. This is the auditory canal. And the third is the tympanum. Tympanum is the eardrum. Okay, from here to the eardrum, this is your external ear. Okay, then there are special glands in the walls of the auditory canal which produce wax. Special glands, they have special glands here, like this, small glands here which produce the ear wax. Okay, the wax in and the hair in the auditory canal, what is the function of them? So the function of the wax and the function of the hair is to protect the ear from the small insects, germs and dust. Why? Because the insects, the germs and the dust, they get trapped in the ear wax and in the hairs. In addition to this, they help to maintain the temperature and the dampness of the auditory canal. The temperature of the auditory canal is maintained by the wax and the dampness, otherwise it would be very dry. Dampness means wet. um, they damp they make the ear canal damp. In addition to this, yes, the thin membrane separates external ear from the middle ear. Which thin membrane? Now they are talking about this thin membrane which separates the outer ear. This is the outer ear from the inner ear. Understand? Now the inner ear consists of three bones. They are malleus, incus and stapes. The middle ear is a chamber after the external ear. Three small bones are there. They are known as ossicles. See these bones, they are known as ossicles. These middle ear bones are known as ossicles. So these ossicles, the name of these bones are malleus, incus and stapes. Malleus is attached with the eardrum. This bone is attached with the eardrum. If you can see, this bone is attached with the eardrum, and the second one is the incus and then the stapes. These bones are movable. Why movable? Because when the sound is going to come, the eardrum vibrates, and because of the vibration of the eardrum or the tympanum, these bones will vibrate. That is why they are the movable bones. Okay, then malleus is attached with the eardrum, then comes the incus and then the stape. And see, this is incus. You can see here, this one is the incus, and this pink one is the stapes. The pink one is the stapes, and this one is actually connected here to the oval window. And this, see the oval window separates the middle ear from the inner ear. So आपको you have to remember two things, that the tympanum or the eardrum separates the outer ear from the middle ear, and the oval ear separates the middle ear from the inner ear. Okay, then Middle ear also communicates through the nasal cavity through eustachian tube. This is the eustachian tube. This one is the eustachian tube, and this eustachian tube, it does what? It is connected to the nose. So for example, if there is any infection in the ear, it is actually here. It is actually here after the eardrum, like it is happening behind the eardrum. And whenever now how will this fluid drain? How will this mucus or this pus go away? It will usually, if the infection is behind the eardrum, अगर infection eardrum के पीछे होता है, so the eustachian tube will be used to drain it into the nasal cavity. And where will the mucus go? It will travel through the eustachian tube into the nasal cavity, and then the infection is um, and then the infection is uh, cured. Okay, then this tube. So now you know about the eustachian tube. What does the eustachian tube do? It communicates with the nasal cavity. Okay, the middle ear communicates with the nasal cavity through the eustachian tube. This tube regulates the air pressure on both sides of the eardrum, and it this tube, it has a specific function. One Number one, connection with the nasal cavity, and number second is the pressure, the maintaining of the pressure on both the eardrums. Because of the air which is coming from outside, it has to maintain the pressure. Number third is the inner ear. It consists of three parts. See, this one is the vestibule. Number one is the vestibule. This is the vestibule. Then cochlea and the semicircular canals. See, these semicircular three canals are there, semicircular canals. And the vestibule is present in the center of the inner ear. See here, in the center of the inner, this is the center of the inner ear, and the vestibule is present in the center of the inner ear. These canals are called semicircular canals, and they are posterior. Posterior means behind. So these are behind the posterior to the vestibule. The cochlea is made up of three ducts. See, this is number one, this is one, this is two, and this is three. So three ducts are there in the cochlea, and it wraps itself into a coil tube. What is the function of this inner ear? It has receptor cells in the middle duct of the cochlea. This one, in this duct of the cochlea. See, where is the middle duct of the cochlea? This is the middle duct of the cochlea, which contains the sensory um, receptors, and these sound receptors, they are present in the middle duct of the cochlea. Now see, the process of hearing um, is actually it's been omitted from your syllabus, but for the sake of understanding we have to go through that. Okay, so the next topic is the process of hearing, which is omitted. To which part of the ear the tympanum belongs? Actually, the external part, the tympanum. This is the tympanum. This is the tympanum, which is the eardrum, and it belongs to the outer ear, because this all is a part of your outer. This is your outer ear, okay, and this is your middle ear, and then comes your inner ear. This is your inner ear, okay. Now coming to the next topic, which is skip. Okay, this yellow portion is skip. um what is deafness? Infection in eustachian tube. When it spreads from the eustachian tube to the middle ear, the eardrum is damaged, and um, there is infection of the auditory canal. And what is deafness? It is the defect of the eardrum, cochlea, and the middle ear ossicles. See, there are many types of deafness. So they are saying that there can be a defect in any portion, for example, middle ear, ossicle, eardrum, anywhere. The process of hearing: the pinna of the external ear focuses and directs sound waves into the auditory canal. So remember, the pinna, it directs the sound into the auditory canal. The sound waves, they strike the eardrum and they produce. So I told you about the vibrations. Because of these vibrations, the middle ear, and it produces further vibrations in malleus, incus, and stapes. So these three movable bones, they move, and the vibrations strike the oval window. They go to the oval window, and they reach the, see, the cochlea is fluid filled. There is fluid inside the cochlea. The fluid, when this moves, when the fluid moves, what happens? The receptor cells are stimulated. These receptor cells are again present in the cochlea. The receptor cells generate a nerve impulse. This nerve impulse is it travels to the brain and interpreted as sound. Okay, so now one more very important function of the ear: it maintains the balance of the body. Semicircular canals and vestibules, they help to maintain the balance of the body. Semicircular canals contain sensory nerves which can detect any movement of head. Okay, see these semicircular canals in the cochlea, they help to the semicircular canals. They are not talking about the cochlea. The semicircular canals which were present, actually these ones which were present after the cochlea, they do what? They detect movement of the head. The vestibules detect changes in the posture of the body. Remember the vestibule. So actually it maintains the balance of the body, because whenever your head moves, these semicircular canals, they detect, okay, and they send the messages to the brain because they have sensory nerves. Second point, vestibules, they detect the change in the posture of the body, and again they send the messages to the brain if there is any wrong kind of a posture. And the neurons coming from these two receptors, they reach the cerebellum through the auditory nerve. Remember the auditory nerve, there is an auditory nerve which is made up of neurons, and the messages are sent to the cerebellum through the auditory nerve which contains the neurons. Okay, please don't get confused in neurons and nephrons. Nephrons are present in kidneys and neurons are present in the brain. Okay, so neurons are the brain cells and the nephrons are the um, these are the building blocks or the subunits and the function units of the kidney. Okay, so actually this all yellow portion was not included in your syllabus, but for the sake of better understanding, we have been discussing this. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Now to the next topic. Inshallah, we will be completing this chapter before your half yearly. So I think three chapters will be included: endocrine system, the activities such as growth, reproduction, maintenance of glucose concentration in blood, reabsorption of water in the kidneys. See, these are the uh, activities, and these are the performances which need to be controlled, but they are involuntary. Remember, involuntary, which we cannot, like which we cannot control. Okay, but they need to be regulated. Endocrine system performs this job, and this system uses, in this, when we were discussing the topic, I told you in the start that the system uses chemicals to communicate with its effectors. Remember, I told you that it uses chemicals. It does not uses neurons. It uses chemicals. These chemicals are known as hormones. A hormone, now the definition of a hormone: a hormone is a specific messenger molecule which is synthesized and secreted by an endocrine gland. So it is synthesized by the endocrine gland, and it is secreted by the endocrine gland also. These glands are ductless. There is no duct except one, which we will be studying later. They Duct means no tube. They don't have any tube, and but they release their secretions directly into the bloodstream. Okay, the blood is released directly into the hormones are released directly into the blood. And what is the and what is the pathway? The bloodstream is the pathway. There is no tube, no canals, no duct, nothing. Blood carries the hormones to target organs or tissues, so it moves towards the organs and the tissues, and then it acts over them. Many glands in our body are exocrine. Now see, endocrine, the spelling of exocrine is not correct. This is the spelling of exocrine. Some of them are exocrine. Exo, see, what do you mean by exo? Exo means outer. Okay, exo means outer. And what do you mean by endo? Endo means inner. So the endo and exo, they they are they are the same, they are a part of the they are a part of same system, but they have ducts. Exocrines have ducts because they release their secretions outside, for example digestive glands and the skin glands. The digestive glands and the skin glands, they are exocrine. For example the pancreas, it has a duct, okay, so it is an exocrine gland. But the skin glands, they are also exocrine, but the endocrine are um, the the endocrine are those organs which do not have duct, and they are also, and these exocrine glands are also not a part of our endocrine system. They are a part of a system. I'm talking about the exocrine glands. These exocrine glands, they are a part of the system but not the endocrine system, okay. So in endocrine system we are not going to include these exocrine glands. First, I think I said they are a part, but they are they are a part of the body, yes, but they are not the part of our endocrine system. Endocrine system consists of those glands which are ductless. They do not have ducts, and they release the hormones directly into the bloodstream. Now they are talking about now they are discussing the important endocrine glands. First is the pituitary gland. So first we have to go through the diagram. Now see this diagram. Here they are showing the pituitary gland which is in the brain. Then comes the thyroid gland which is present in which is present near in the neck region, here in the neck region, okay. So please know about the locations, okay. This picture is also included. It can be given in objectives or in any kind of short answers, okay. This thyroid gland is present in the neck region. The pituitary gland is present in the brain, present with the brain, okay. Then comes the pancreas. We know where does the pancreas where is the pancreas where are the pancreas present. They are present near the larger intestine in the digestive system. Now the adrenal glands, these are present here over the kidneys, okay. They are present here over the kidneys. These are the adrenal glands. Then the ovaries and the testes. The ovaries are present only in females and the testis is present only in males. Actually these are the gonads, we call them gonads, okay. So the female gonads are the ovaries and the male gonads are the testes. The pancreas, the uh, adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are a part of the kidney. The pancreas are the no, they are not a part of the kidney. Actually, they are present with the kidneys and they act on the kidneys. The pancreas are present in the they are present with the digestive system and they act on the and they act we'll be talking about the function later, okay. Then comes the thyroid gland. This thyroid gland is present in the neck region and the pituitary gland is present with the brain. So actually the location is clear now, okay. Now the pituitary gland is attached with the hypothalamus, so we already know the location. So this is the location which is it is attached to the hypothalamus of the brain. Many hormones of the pituitary gland influence the secretion of other endocrine glands. So we call these hormones as tropic hormones. Those hormones which are going to uh, impose changes and they are going to influence the secretions of the other endocrine glands are known as tropic hormones. So the location is, so the first of all comes the structure. It is P-shaped. Then comes the location. It is attached to the hypothalamus of the brain that we already know, and we have discussed in detail about the hypothalamus, which is the part of the brain. Some of the and it has tropic hormones as well as other hormones also. The tropic hormones, they do what? They influence the secretions of the other exocrine glands. They like indirectly they control other endocrine glands, but the hormones of pituitary gland, they can act on other tissues of the body directly also. So they have tropic hormones and they have other hormones also. One of these hormones, they act on the tissues directly, and some of their hormones, they influence the secretion of other endocrine glands. I have been um, I have been repeating some of the facts again and again so that you know these points clearly. The course for your half yearly is really um, it's it's less and it's reduced also. So please prepare with care, okay? Because everything is very important now, because your syllabus is already reduced and everything can be a part of the paper in any way. There are two lobes of the pituitary gland, the anterior and the posterior. The anterior means the front and the posterior means the behind. So anterior lobe, it produces many hormones. One of the important hormones is the somatotropin. So the first hormone, this is the first hormone which it produces. This is known as the somatotropin. Somatotropin it promotes the growth of the body, so it is actually a growth hormone, and these are all, and we are talking about the endocrine system. So these hormones, this growth hormone, which is the somatotropin, it is present only in the humans, okay? We are talking about the human system. If the production of this hormone is diminished means less, like very reduced, like it's reduced. If it is reduced during the growing age, the rate of the growth decreases, and the condition is known as dwarfism. So they will be talking about the diseases also relatively, which are related to the hormones. So if somatotropin hormone is less, it causes dwarfism. And if the hormone is excessively produced during growing age, if the production is excessive, it leads to gigantism, okay? Gigantism is uh, it is a disease in which the human becomes very tall and overweight also. If somatotropin is excessively produced after the growing age, now if the person is already grown, for example, like 20 years, 25 years, and the somatotropin is producing excessively, now the growth phase has been passed, now the person is not growing. Then what happens? The internal organs and the body extremities alone grow large. Body extremities means the hands, feet, jaw bones. Extremity means the end points. So the human body end points are jaw bones, hands, foot. So what happens? These things become very large, and the internal organs also. This condition is known as acromegaly. Okay, so three diseases have been mentioned: dwarfism, gigantism, and acromegaly. Okay, three diseases which are related to the um, pituitary gland. Dwarfism, if the diminished, if the diminished, if the hormone is diminished, then dwarfism. If the hormone is excessive, then the um, gigantism, and if uh, it is produced excessively after the growing age, we can see acromegaly. Now come to the next page. Another important hormone secreted by anterior lobe. See, first we are talking about the first hormone, which was the somatotropin. Now the second hormone is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone. This is the second one, the thyroid stimulating hormone. This thyroid stimulating hormone, it stimulates thyroid gland to secrete its hormone. Thyroid gland is the thyroid gland is stimulated means it comes under the effect, and it is influenced. So the thyroid gland is influenced, like it's been told you have to do this. The thyroid gland is stimulated to do what? to produce the thyroid stimulating hormone. The remaining hormones of the anterior lobe influence the reproductive organs, and they also control the adrenal glands. Remember, the reproductive organs are the ovaries and the testes, and the adrenal glands are related to the kidneys. So they are present with the kidneys. Okay, the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, it stores and secretes two hormones. So the first one is the vasopressin, and the next one is the oxytocin. The vasopressin is the anti-diuretic hormone, ADH. So if they are talking about vasopressin, it is also known as ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. The hormones are produced by hypothalamus, which is a part of the brain. So vasopressin, it does what? Vasopressin increases the rate of reabsorption of water from the nephrons. Remember, I told you that during the um, during during the process of excretion, it was explained to you that the reabsorption of nephrons is that the reabsorption of water is balanced. How? Why? Because of this hormone, the vasopressin balances the reabsorption of water. When we have low amount of water in the body fluid, pituitary gland secretes vasopressin, so more reabsorption of the water occurs. This has been explained in detail that more water will be absorbed from the urine with the help of nephrons. With why? Because the body needs water, and if we have more and if we have more water content, like more water quantity in the body, then less urine will be absorbed with the help of nephrons. So the same thing has been explained here. On the other hand, when the body fluids have more than normal water, there is decline in the secretion of this hormone. So see, this hormone will be excreted more when more absorption is needed, when more reabsorption is needed. And when the body fluids have more water than the normal water, then this secretion will be decreased, or we can use the word declined. You can also use the word decrease, increase. Okay. If the pituitary gland does not secrete this hormone in the required amount, what happens? Less water is reabsorbed from the nephrons, and as a result, the excessive loss of water is seen through the urine, and this is known as diabetes insipidus. So it's a type of diabetes. The hormone oxytocin. Now, first we were talking about the hormone which was vasopressin, and now we are going to talk about oxytocin. Okay, the first is the vasopressin and the second is the oxytocin. This oxytocin, it stimulates the contraction of uterus. The uterus is contracted, the walls of the uterus are contracted in the process of the childbirth, and this is done with the help of oxytocin. So this hormone is necessary for the ejection of milk from the breast also. So this is related to the birth process. Two functions: contraction of the uterus wall for the childbirth. Second one is the ejection of the milk from the breast. The stepwise process of metamorphosis in many animals is controlled by hormones, life activities such as cell division in invertebrates. We are talking about the invertebrates, those which do not have the vertebral column. It is regulated by the hormones. Hormones are they control their life activities. For example, the division of the cells is controlled by these hormones. They control activities like migration in birds. Hormones have been identified even in unicellular organisms. So Allah Ta'ala has created hormones in each and every organism, in invertebrates also and in the unicellular organisms also. So we have covered the pituitary gland, the anterior and the posterior. The anterior releases two hormones, and the posterior also releases two hormones, which are the vasopressin and the oxytocin. And the disease which is mentioned here is this one, the diabetes insipidus. So you must know about the disease. you must know about the location of the hormone of uh, the location of the gland. You must know about the action of the gland, and you must know about the process which happens. For example, these adrenal this ADH, antidiuretic hormone, which is the vasopressin. Okay, they explain the process. You must know this. The thyroid gland, it is the largest endocrine gland. So thyroid is the largest endocrine gland, and as I told you, it is present in the neck region below the larynx and produces a hormone which is known as thyroxine. So thyroxine is produced with the help of thyroid, and this is the gland which is known as the thyrox. This is known as the gland which is known as the thyroxine. Iodine is required for the production of this hormone. If oxygen is present, then if if thyroxine is present, it means the iodine is also present. If there is no iodine in the diet, thyroid gland cannot make its hormone. In this condition, thyroid gland enlarges, and this disorder or disease is called goiter. That during they say that during this is your like a yellow box, that the urine output is low during summer. Why? Because of the increased sweating, the water level of blood is already lowered, so the pituitary gland releases more ADH into the blood. Because water is going to we are going to see loss of water with sweating. So it means more water is getting away from the body, it is getting out of the body. So we need what? We need more water inside the body. So the ADH, which is the antidiuretic hormone, or the vasopressin, which has been released from the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, it is released more. Why? Because we need more water inside the body, so it reabsorbs more water. This is the function. Okay, which they have just revised. So this was about the thyroid gland. Now uh, thyroxine increases the breakdown of food and release of energy in the body. It has one more function, which is the release of energy in the body. If those people who have issues with the thyroid gland, they also have issues with the energy levels. Why? Because if the food is not oxidized and the energy is not released, it means the body will become lethargic and lazy, and it will have less energy. Okay, hypothyroidism is the cause. Now one more disease, hypothyroidism, and the third one is the hyperthyroidism. Hypothyroidism is caused by the underproduction of thyroxine. When there is less production of thyroxine, hypothyroidism is seen. Hypo means less, hyper means more, and it is characterized by low energy production in the body and slowing down of heartbeat. So hypothyroidism, low energy production and lowering down of the heartbeat. And hyperthyroidism, when there is more thyroid production, there is overproduction of thyroxine. And what is the consequences of this? Its symptoms are, so you can just use the word symptoms. Its symptoms are increase in energy production, increased heartbeat, and frequent sweating and shivering of hands. The thyroid gland produces another hormone which is called, see, the second hormones um, now comes in, and this is known as calcitonin. The second hormone, and this the name of the high hormone is calcitonin. The thyroid gland produces another hormone which is known as calcitonin. It decreases the level of calcium ions in blood. What it does, it decreases the calcium ions in blood, and it promotes the absorption of calcium in blood, from blood into the bones. So what happens is the level of calcium will be decreased from the blood. Now where is the calcium going? It is going to the bones. Why? For the promotion, for the absorption of calcium inside the bones. So calcitonin is again important. And now parathormone and calcitonin, they complement each other and regulate the level of calcium ions in the blood. Like they have a similar action. They complement each other means they are working together positively. Okay, so they have a positive effect on each other. Both of them are going to enhance the effect of each other, and they regulate the calcium ions in the blood. What is the parathormone? Parathormone is released from the parathyroid gland, which we will be discussing inshallah in the next class.